When I was a kid, the Beatles were it. Yeah, Elvis was the king, but he belonged to your best friend's older brother or sister. The Beatles belonged to us. They were brand new, and man, did they pop. I remember listening to WABC and Cousin Brucey on my cheap transistor radio. They would play a Beatles song every half hour, and it would alternate between She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand. Yeah, and transistors were also brand new back then. Now, adults thought of the Beatles as a novelty act, what with the mop top haircuts and the collarless suit jackets. We thought of them as artists. In the spring of 1964, our family moved from Bay Terrace, Queens to the Washington Heights section of Manhattan, and suddenly everything was at our fingertips. Back in Bay Terrace, if we wanted to go to a movie, our parents had to drive us to the town of Bayside. But now, in the city, there were 3 movie theaters within walking distance of our apartment. The first and biggest was the Loews 175th Street. Then, as now, the third or maybe fourth largest indoor venue in all of New York City. Further up Broadway was the RKO Coliseum, not as big as the Loews, but still a great space. And then there was the Cinema 181. It was a small theater built in 1913, originally called the Empress Theater. Later, in 1962, it was renamed Cinema 181. Later still, in the 70s, it was given over to playing Spanish-language films almost exclusively. Today it's a food mart. It was just a small dive of a theater that sat maybe 100 people. And there was a small rent or tear in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. It didn't matter. It was great. Why was it great? 3 movies for 35 cents. Here's how it worked. There'd be one great movie, one so-so movie, and one pretty bad movie. Now, if you wanted to see the great movie a second time, you had to sit through the entire program all over again. But we were kids, so we did it, because we wanted our movie's worth. And then, one week, A Hard Day's Night is topping the bill. So we sat through the not-so-good movie, and we sat through the so-so movie, and then A Hard Day's Night comes on. And the theater explodes. Everyone leapt to their feet, and we're singing along with the songs, and we're laughing with the jokes, and the girls are screaming, and we're laughing at the girls, and they're laughing back at us. We had our own little slice of Beatlemania right there in that rinky-dink dive of a movie theater. It was one of the greatest movie-going experiences of my life. Years later, I buy the DVD because I want to show the movie to my kids. And in the movie, when we get to the final concert scene, suddenly I'm crying my eyes out. And I don't understand why exactly. It wasn't just sentimentality. It was something beyond that. The movie now had a power that the filmmakers never intended. A power that perhaps could only be felt by those of us who were there in the beginning. It was about the passage of time, what they had been through, and what we had all been through collectively since those days. I guess you had to have been there.